This gives me another chance to talk to Kikune, away from her watchful madam.
Is it less glamorous than you thought it would be?
She said that she knew that's a hard world and it's a completely different world. But when she come over here and she actually experienced herself, that was much, much more than she was expecting.
Right. So being a geisha involves being very uncomfortable for a lot of the time.
That's right. That take it, always.
Oh, it's hard.
Yeah, you have to put up with it.
What's the hardest thing about being a Maiko Kikune?
There was nothing she's ever done before when she became a Maiko, so everything was so hard. Sleeping, and the language, that they have to change to the Kyoto dialect, which you are speaking at the moment, and also the way you walk, everything.
Wow. Okini.
I'm beginning to understand a little bit more about the geisha world. You come here not to fulfill an obligation, but to live a dream. To become a piece of living art, however hard. And the camaraderie is fun. But if that's why the girls do it, what's in it for the man? That evening, I steal away from the geisha house to interrogate a client. Peter is a Canadian, married to a local Japanese woman. He spends thousands of pounds on his geisha habit.
This might sound a little coarse, but one of the reasons I enjoy geisha entertainment so much is because I know I'm not getting lucky. At the end of the night, there's no disappointment. Nothing, no expectations, no disappointment. I fall in love every night, and at 1 o'clock when their curfew is, I go home. They go home, I go home. See you later, see you next time. And yeah, that's the way it is. And sure, do they fall in love? Of course, they're women. They're not nuns. That's the thing, they're not prostitutes and they're not nuns.
I guess if the equivalent in the Western world is strippers and topless bars, you know, a lot of wives would not be happy at the thought of their husbands going off and spending money on entertainment like that. But is it kind of okay with the geisha? Are they kind of the other woman that the wives accept?
You know, my wife financially doesn't like it because it's not cheap when I'm out with the geisha. But she knows there's nothing creepy going on. It's just, you know, for me it's a status symbol. I show my support for the arts, and it's fun. And you know, who doesn't have fun hanging out with a beautiful woman?
So what about them being sex symbols? Because, you know, I've never worn so many clothes in my life, and apparently this is very sexy here.
Well, the nape of the neck, you have the nape of the neck, which is kind of, well, kind of comparative to our cleavage in the West. And that's why the young girls leave it unpainted to elongate it and to emphasize it.
See, Maya Casa didn't say that. She said it's to stop the paint going in the hairline, and I was thinking...
Even in some of the books I've read, some of the people who wrote books talk about the curvature in the unpainted pattern, representing one leg, 2 legs, and the hair could be representative of the female genitalia.
How much do you reckon you spent on geisha?
Let me show you something.
Your spreadsheet. Oh, these are the name cards.
These are the name cards.
So there's a lot in here. Is this representing something?
Well, let's say I do not own a house in Kyoto, probably because of this.
Really? How does your wife feel about that?
We don't talk about that very often. She hates to see that book.
Yeah, I bet she does. So if happily married men pay for and spend time with geisha, why? What's the difference in the feeling?
Well, remembering back almost 10 years ago, hanging with the geisha reminds me of when I was courting my wife before the engagement. And, you know, that's when your relationship is peaking. You're like, I want to propose to this woman. I want to be with her forever.
The honeymoon period.
Yeah. And that's what it is every night. And when you're with a geisha, it's like, that's what it feels like every night, because you go home and you're, you know, okay, it's 1 o'clock, you got to go home. Here, I'll pay, here, drop you off in the taxi, or I just order me a taxi, I'm home, and like, can't wait to see you next time.
Is it basically a sexless affair?
Yeah, but, you know, of course, people fall in love. But that's not, the difference is that's not the purpose of it. It's classy entertainment in a way. Yeah, I guess. I stopped thinking about it a long time ago. When you start thinking about it and think about the bills that are coming in at the end of the month, you're going to stop doing it.
Mm-hmm. Is it a bit like an addiction?
If you ask my wife, yes. She'll say he's addicted.
Next morning, I'm called in by Mother. One of the clients wants a new girl, and she plans to try me on him to see how I'm doing. So I'm about to find out. First, I need massive preparation.
So what does the white mean? Why do we need a white face?
この白っていうのはね、今はさやね。
Like in the old days, like people used to have a lights which were candle lights, and it's quite dark. In the candle light, under the candle lights, that this white makeup sort of stood out and looked very beautiful. And then that tradition was kept in this Geiko Maiko world. That's the end of the face.
Oh my. Wow.
Because this is April, you are having a cherry blossoms on your hair.
Remember, this is supposed to be art. It takes 3 hours and a lot of helpers to squeeze any geisha into her layers. Finally, on the top, I am tied into a £60,000 18th century dress.
I'd rather just wear a miniskirt.
Usually, the man comes to put this kimono.
The men?
Yes, because you need a lot of strength to put this obi on.
One more time. One more time. Brace myself. Oh! I nearly squashed Mother.
足ね、用意どの格好して前を
You
ちょ
just
っと
hold
出
your...
してし。
Open your legs.
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
稽古さんっていうのはね。
Are you feeling hot?
Hot, stressed, and in need of a yawn. Because I can't get
これ
enough
でもで
breath.
きたよ。はい、足
Very
下げないよ
thirsty,
うに
but
ね
I'm too scared to drink in
はい、
case
じ
I
ゃあ
need to go
着
for a
物
wee.
着たらね。ほんと違うのよ。
With my identity literally masked, now they're even taking my name away.
名前になったから。ね。
That your name is not Dawn anymore. From today, you are Kikuteru.
Kikuteru.
そうね。
What does it mean?
意味はどういう意味ですか？
ね、聞く、光る。
That
も
Kiku means a chrysanthemum. Teru means shining.
A shining chrysanthemum. Kikuteru.
う聞くて。
This shining chrysanthemum is about to meet her first client and find out what really happens on a geisha date. It's my third day in the geisha house, and my first client turns up. This is really scary. He's much older and couldn't be further from my type. What's more, I feel ghastly. I'm starting to think that to live the geisha dream, these girls pay a heavy price. I'm not the Maiko I thought I'd be. I thought I'd be beautiful. Instead, I look like a giant angry geisha monster, bent on destroying Kyoto with my oversized feet and my undersized shoes. On top of that, I'm in pain. Everything hurts. This poor guy doesn't know what he's in for. First, it's lots of photos of him with me, Kikune, and the other geisha. Then I draw back.
You're doing so well.
The shoes are so sore,
Oh.
and the hair is really hurting. It's in the middle. It's like it's digging. Something's digging in and pulling. It's not. It's just not as easy as it looks.
I know.
It feels so unattractive. I really thought that I was going to feel really pretty and I was going to look really beautiful and graceful, and I just feel uncomfortable, and I think my lips are too small and that I look like I'm about to punch someone or jump out a cupboard and scare someone. I look like I'm about to start a fight. I'm exhausted. It's exhausting. It's like having to hold this up all the time. It's really heavy. Having to be so careful of it because it's worth $100,000. I'm so tight. There's so many layers on me. It's so tight. And it was fine at first, but after a few hours, I need to get it off. And I'm getting really claustrophobic and agitated and annoyed with it. And annoyed with you and annoyed with everyone else. And I really just want to go